pay Andy wo menchen ya nso so wo menchen me ne omo edi enkomo ya anapay mo kwaba
yeah
na impom ti sen
na me adaru ma bia boko na so
ah ikoko mun kakaka pacho onchia woni na yen proceed wa
mention on your behalf.
yes
How are they?
What's it?
Where they?
O me taking notes, me notes kakra o.
We are now watching.
Me dey me dey me na me be chia no. Okay, all right. Open your say.
Oh yeah.
Reality.
About the reaction.
Okay, all right. Oh, you're fine.
We are now okay. And me oh yeah. Angus through weekends.
Yeah.
We are okay.
So you know about a coffee day.
Obi didi. Ebi no didi.
A coffee. A coffee and yeah, so
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on the genuine issues. Me okay.
Andy can come. Yo, and Ebreno, Bessie in your ample time. And to me, Mamma 2 minutes and 5 minutes for any other matters. Then go straight into the issue. So we have on our hands Anas Aremia, Anas and Sensem. You on our hands other issues. A shaman, and so every happen. So, you know, Christian true. He was buried. Meaning, baby, I'm person paying no issues no infant free. Yeah, me do shall say, yeah, the Anas and a chassis, and I say the Hene chassis.
Well, Metcha Namasa chair at T4. I say, Uncle Ponko, somebody in a home by now, or my young one day, the intimate comrade met and I say, now trim me in Ubia. Yes, your contribution can create to me, dear Yama, or my gun at me a corner him no. Cracker, or my knock on him. Of course, I'll also say something about Anas, but before then, I have a major issue.
Okay.
And that issue has to do with idea yen say idea we bit me to one among into one more, and that is a say Cape Costa. What track so police station now? They could see baby for technically you could see Akuti Junction. So stretch now with him the 20 minutes or 15 minutes, depend upon your car and your speed. With him the year free honor. It takes about 2 hours, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes abroso. Abroso send a ubinimu say upon bon crop for cano. Abroso. And I think say it is time I Ghana and paying for be pay attention. Kwa him say if Cape Coast Accra Cape Coast economic road. Accra Kumasi economic road. Tema ede call your friends aflow economic road. So why do we always endure that traffic of 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and all of those things? And over the past years, and I'm paying for Mudi on my way and those responsible. And sebi omo enkwasi dabe. How long are we going to talk about these things? How long? Say yen say you call Cape Costa traffic after Kaswa Edikwa Kuti Junction. Is it because you're paying for over the years no more kwa either say or the flight be kwa ku Cape Coast depend upon the person. So or a president are likely so the military aircraft be kwa ku Cape Coast. Or your president no person avoid the traffic or the aircraft be kwa ku Takra then wa car or the car back Cape Coast. Some of these things, I mean, come on. Abroso. Why do we have to go through all the traffic? Teacher say we are normal citizen. Unimo bia na wakwa kofa trotro udi frika so na ukọ winiba. And answer kwa pam, kwa mankesima. So you have to be in that traffic for almost about 2-3 hours a day. Ghana paying for Ghana Highway Authority, more aware. Minister of Roads and Highways, more aware. Road Farm for more aware. All of those stakeholders, you know, are aware of the frustration. Sebi you amount for FM and can't address for sebi or money more beer. It is a whole now if dispatch be a new one. And now, Sabi, you say, well, we say motorcade be a baby trap, no one far and your dear and quanko de motorcade nature. And I say, obey the traffic for almost about 2 hours. 2 hours, I mean. And it is something we have been talking about over and over. Also, as a you will see some sikabi ewo Liberia camp hono, because if he said that place was the main source of the traffic. Enti omoaye some artificial roads bia, but what it doesn't save anything. Probably waste of money. It doesn't save anything. It doesn't address the main issue, and it is time we look at it. And for me as a person, these are some of the things I expect whoever wants to be president of Ghana to tell us that, look, when I become president, I'm going to deal with, these are the situations I'm going to deal with. What's the say free and cry, it's a major economic road. Until at this time, of course, you've seen some form of dualization going on bits and pieces. But we should focus as a nation to say, so look, we are doing it once and for all. Once and for all. The traffic amount for bedim a free a friend said tema, and they call a fenya. Traffic amount for bedim when you want to use that stretch to a flow. They talk about it every day. And we have leaders in this country. We have leaders in this country. What are we waiting for? And I said, what I mean, it's just so, it's, you don't know what is happening.
I say, I just say, all exit points from a nodal center like Accra are blocked.
Of course.
Because Oko Volta regional, Obakushia sa traffic no
the stress will go
Oko
through.
Ashanti regional, Ukushia Pukwasi in Sawom the Enu Honum.
And then
Oko Central regional, Ukushia Bakusu Awakaswa.
And then you ask yourself, sebi you ye bu o man na say o man ko na nim. Da bia make say so u free Ghana e bia 1990 now true kwan free Ghana. Uba back you want to see a better Ghana because you want to see some improve your friends and situations. But say no mama aba say ye kwa ya nim no man no e kwa na nim mom na sebi o empuntu no e twisa energy. Because why would somebody be in traffic? Accra Cape Coast, a dependent car okra.
2 hours.
Yes, Ukra, Toyota Land Cruiser, and all those 4-wheel drives are. It may take it 1 hour 20 minutes to do that stretch. It was a less than 100 kilometers. Yeah. Less than 100 kilometers, but it takes 3 hours if you want to do that. So Ukra normal car there was some there yanka. Because said you. Why you say we are normal driver, you obey the rules. What is obey here, pay, obey Jiran chain, then Panaba Bessiaqua. You'll be in traffic for before so free a Kaswa and free a crana or call Cape Costa. Acquire Ube Tim did Don Shre Mienu channel. What they Don Shre bear and 9 echo noon. Why should it take you 3 to 5 hours to do Accra Cape Coast? Less than 100-kilometer road. I mean, decisions must be made. Something must happen. And some man for now, said ya two abadema and paying for more better than so. And so, a mumma and paying for no my who say, or more dream or mine home, and to a more A2 and a more naso more yan share, a beman for swabasso.
Yeah. And then so we are at diverting your topics no.
No, but some sabi sometimes some no sabi who say who experience here. You ask yourself, say, so really, are we thinking? Are we really thinking as a nation? Are we thinking? Do we have thinking people leading us? Are they thinking and what are they looking at? What informed decisions? Because it take you 3-4 hours to do Accra Cape Coast. Technically, we bet you do 1 hour 30 minutes. Yeah. And look, Accra Cape Coast situation, no. And then I shall see you. You can say over the last 15 years, this has been the trend. And so we thought, say, by just doing your friend saying, Kaswa stretch, you know, it deals with it. And if you look at the Kaswa stretch, so free. The moment you enter the Kaswa stretch, fast road. Now say BBC, there's no bypass. So I say, oh yeah, quantity. I mean, come on. I mean, we should begin to think, and we need thinking people to make decisions for us.
But the interesting bit is that virtually all these places you are talking about are tourist sites, and the minister and the Ghana Tourism Authority say that they have some 100 million cedis to spend to encourage local tourism. And let's say you went for local tourism.
Which is what I did.
That's what you did, eh?
Yeah, I went to Asim Manson.
Okay.
I went to Asim Manson and I went to the Cape Coast Castle. And I said to myself, look, fortunately, I've had the privilege of going to Israel. And if you went to Israel, they'll tell you that it is assumed that Peter and Paul ate here. It is assumed that Jesus came to this place. It is assumed that they are historical site. But for us, if you went to a same mansion, you will see your friends say, and soon now, the last bath. So you go there where your friends say, that's where they went to take their bath before they were sent to Cape Coast. It was a Biana. The assumption is that your capacity, your strength to undertake the journey, and then you'll be taken to Cape Coast where you also go through some hardship for another 45, another 60 or 90 days. Then they know if you survive, then they know say obetimi I make a journey. No? And you look at Cape Coast Township is okay. I mean, the main road is okay. So Cape Coast Castle, you won't say much about it. Just that it should be some proper work should be done so that you can get a place nice to eat, you can get a place nice to sit, and also enjoy the reason for going there.
Cape Coast Castle, we have library now. And the project
it's been renovated. It's been done. So it's just directly opposite the Cape Coast Castle. It's been done.
He asked a question.
But I just want to let you know that it's been done.
To pay.
But on the course,
oh, Sammy, I said it's been done.
Okay,
yeah, okay.
And one other issue, who said so call. No, but I don't want to divert attention actually. But of course, I saw.
You are talking about tourism.
I saw
how we could rake in some.
I saw it.
Good money.
Of course, I saw.
You don't need contract. You don't need to go and award anything.
Yeah, I saw.
That is why I am touched by.
I said, Cape Coast Township, the rules are good. And then the only thing I want to see, Cape Coast Castle, no, and it may be some form of elevations.
Being brought
exactly. Asim Manso, for instance, so far, we say Udru Mankesima, quite build the wa obetimi afa akwa kopie Asim Manso. The road is so bad. It's another bad road. And I say to myself, look, Sabi, on my Israel, and on my Dubai, there no. Yamia mo awia, hot weather, any oil. We sani mambi me way free where I dear would Dubai, any your friends, I bear the site of attraction. Yeah. And why would people want to go with their families to Dubai? What is there for? Is it because of the area? Sending cabbage mark Tamale.
Yeah.
We have a area in Tamale. The same thing because Dubai, a bob between 7 and 9 a.m. The weather is hot. I want to be honest here. The same thing is in Tamale. Yeah. Uko Tamale same a bo non so ede ko na na wi here. And so if you are a serious country as we want to be, and I can take it, ask us, yeah, we want Tamale to be our version of Dubai. Because Tamale as a town, or the northern region as a town, also has historical sites. You bet me a developer. Do we? Akwabina, aya hotel radio so can say who be brain Oliver Khan. I say, Mumu yes serious. Maybe Tikroma na mo sumo kwa IMF akwa kopiska. We are going to IMF for how much money? $3 billion. Dangote can just make a decision, say, give it to them. Individual. Is he resourceful than a nation Ghana? Is Dangote as an individual resourceful than a nation Ghana? A nation that has gold, all the natural mineral resources. On top of it, and Nyame say, okay, I've not given you people enough. I mean, the oil can't mamo. Apart from that, we my natural weather. Ubia, I am Puano. And so bet me do board any banchi or any part of Accra, and you harvest it. We my weather a your time a reabo and a time in Suto, and we still struggle to even eat. Man, come on, we need to make progress as a nation. And it is time for us to begin to look at people we vote for, people we elect to lead us. Because a lot of it in the Sami, a leadership. If you say leadership, that person is lying. It's all about leadership. You need a leader to say that, look, the level of indiscipline in Accra cannot continue. At least Henry Cote, in the beginning of his tenure, showed a glimpse of it. It's all about leadership. Decisive, firm, and we can make progress as a nation. But if all the major roles, the major economic roles in Ghana, Accra, Kumasi is in Wahala. Accra, Cape Coast, another Wahala. Accra, your friends are flow, another Wahala. I still think about getting revenue. If I need 3 hours, I'll bet me do 1 hour, 30 minutes at the Cape Coast. If I need 5 hours to 6 hours to do 4-hour journey from Accra to Kumasi. No, about 4 hours to Accra, from Accra to Aflawa. Yeah, you want to call or bet me a quaya, Sebio, or then for Sober Bro, mine. I think those aspiring to lead us in 2024 should give us something to think.
But why are you looking at people who are aspiring to come and lead you? When you have already given somebody a mandate and the person has a year and a half to complete the mandate.
Same, we are a nation.
Or you have given up on the people who are managing the.
No, don't
Yes,
get it wrong. I'm saying I'm not talking about the present situation, Akufo-Addo as a government, but I'm saying that the situation we find ourselves, the Accra-Kasua Road, Accra Cape Coast, Accra Kumasi, Accra Aflao. This is an issue that is known to all leaders of this country, especially from 2000 to date. And I'm saying that they who have led, or those who came between 2000 to date, as far as these issues are concerned, they have failed us.
Yes, but yeah, the reason why.
So the point I'm making is that
the people you are saying, is a worship anymore. You are looking for thinkers to come and lead us. What you know more about
that's what I'm saying.
So far NDC, top 3 are working with them. Former President John Dramani Mahama, Mr. Dufo, Kojo Bonsu, Omo Abamupen. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he's the Vice President of the country. Mr. Alan Kojo Martin, he's been a trade minister in this country. Mr. Dr. Efia Kutu, he's been an agriculture minister. Oh, they have all been in government. So what change are you looking for? Yeah.
Well, Same, I'm sure when we begin to talk like with the way we are talking, maybe some way, somehow, of course, I mean, I always say that, look, if you look at the current challenge we face as a nation, you look at the NDC, Mr. Mahama likely to be the NDC's presidential candidate on the basis of what is happening on the ground, has been a former president before. And I have always said that, look, he should give us something to think about. He should give us something to think about. And if you want to go by Ghana's electoral pattern, where every 8 years we change the government, if you want to go by that, and the likelihood that, or because we are coming to the end of another cycle or another 8 years, so if you want to follow history, then you are likely to predict, say, if history is going to repeat itself, then President Mahama is likely to be the next president on the basis of history. On the basis of history. Then you ask yourself, as a former president who had a privilege of everything in Ghana, experienced everything in Ghana, and then sitting behind for 8 years, is he telling us something that will make us think about him? That's the question I always ask.
All right. Pamela, Andy, I don't know, sir, Andy, if you want to stay the course of
I think, I think that it should be a topic for discussion and another day because of this tourism issue or the other. Sammy, I was doing some small reading and I think tourism assembly my culture say that is an area Ghana we could just make some cool money. Because I have some friends from January to December, omo savings just to come to Ghana to see these sites.
Yeah.
In recent times, maybe Omoko observe the 66th independence celebration war Adaklu. You know, Adaklu area has its own historical way say, and I think if we are a nation, prioritizing Yema, I think the tourism industry should be well resourced and sites we need to work on it. I mean that one we could just rake in some good revenue, and the budget is about giving them the budget, and if government can't do it, nothing prevents government they enter into some PPP. I mean allow private individuals to come in and help in that direction. So tourism, yes, we should turn our attention to that. We should focus on that. I think it's a good area if Ghana or as a country and governments, I'm using governments, you're turning your attention to it. It will help rather than thinking it is necessarily the natural resources that we have. Because in some jurisdiction and a country, a big brother like Nigeria, we know how, I mean, some of these resources have become a curse. There's a literature on that. And so we shouldn't depend necessarily, because many a times our resources here in Yakrano, master, how many of them are in private hands? The communities are more mining. Let me say last week, Omakwako discover another natural mineral resource there, which I think the Mabu traditional area about out to say, listen, get us involved and let us, I mean, come up with a workable modus both the investors and the community of operations. And many a times you see some few leaders, traditional authorities, opinion leaders in the area will go just for their parochial interest and selfish interest. Agreement is to them. So I think the report said Yawako Hwaba. And I think strategically that is why the Tamils Library almost situated directly opposite the Cape Coast Castle. Yeah. So he knows Ura Castle and Crofomra. We have tour guides who will take you around those facilities. So yeah, we thank you for that. And I think that all that Yahweh is calling for is what? Responsible leadership. Audience here. Responsible leadership. You don't need to be pushed. Sami I don't think when you get up, you and Fatih and Raymond, your team, I don't know, you need to be informed. You know, that is your job. So, I'm more sorry, and so that is why I always dove my heart for you and commend you guys for the wonderful program. Because it's not easy. And when you sit here, you say it as it is, and that is what we should be doing. But I think there are some substantive topics we need to go into it so that the trending issues, people would like to know. But so I mean, people were discussing about the weekend disaster, and some blame being laid at the doorsteps of some authority or whatever. But you see, Sammy, let me point this: I will never join those.
Okay, for the benefit of viewers and listeners, it means that we are setting our own agenda this morning.
Yes, because
yeah,
or the Cape Coast. Voter there is just my yes.
The issues we had initially planned we were going to discuss. There's some small deviation.
Small one.
Yes.
The issue of the voter we say, So I mean, I have also traveled in those communities, and there are some villages who far down now cross here. You get there like some 10 minutes. If you use the normal route like road transport, would drive here, it will take some longer hours. So I mean, shower cram in because I find it difficult to breathe. That is why I don't get closer to even swimming pool and stuff. You see people go and bought those
tree kakra now to tree.
those you see your viewers are not only
yes, the Fafa mix.
I think social media
the
no problem. And you can say
I feel now
the life jackets, the boat owners, the canoe owners, they should make sure they have it.
why they come make sure no?
Master. So if you want to be pushed. Sammy, you want to tell me say until you are prompted by authorities, Sammy, sorry, and I will sorry Abahano, and Machi will be frail. So my issue is that listen, no, you see, last year there was this sensitization program, those on this voter lake transport and so forth. I know I published a whole lot of them because for me it was human interest and we need to focus on that. But this disaster in question, the people were going for funeral. And if you listen to a woman who spoke, one Georgina, right, said that there was no life jacket. So, Sammy, will you risk your life? Meanwhile, some weeks ago, Matthew came out and to educate us, sound the alert say, we say be bo from be so munye careful, careful. So that sound so I know some community radio stations were that enclave. So why? In as much as we may have the authorities to blame to some extent, because at the end of the day, let me say they should be there and ensure say, I mean every canoe and take you off they should just adhere to the basic rules and regulations in terms of getting life jacket in and safe. That is the leadership crisis that I'm talking about. Responsible leadership. When people are given the opportunity to serve, they think that it's an opportunity to lord it over people. So, but the owners of the canoes, they should also be responsible. What do I say? Overloading in as I've seen it before.
And the
yeah.
The point is that your various officials responsible. No? This issue is see, this is not the first time a accident on those lakes.
Yeah.
So over the years, what effort?
So that is what I'm talking about, leadership. Last week was Friday. We interviewed Papa B. You say about this word. What's it there? Obuka said earthquake issues, and you people were discussing
the seismic activities.
And he told you the equipment today. Sometimes if they say they use trend analysis, and I think sir you recall. As I say the intervals in terms of years in and so forth.
Yeah.
He told you point blank. Say never see somebody ejuma no bi ni ho. So I quite say forecast or lotto about 6-7. So that is the issue. So we need as a government, we need as a country to prioritize these things. Say they will sound these warnings. But then again, some warnings now as citizens. What is our attitude? Obinim, say me could sit down with her. I am blocking waterway that will cause havoc to the next or others living around where I am. But because of power, he can walk the corridors of power. He has money. Have we not seen people building at places that they shouldn't build because they can walk the corridors of power because they have money, and the poor person has no money? That is it. It is my prayer, say, young generation, we should be able to make an impact.
Who generation?
Oh, Sammy, me can say me need GDA because you are here. I listen to you people. I know. Oh, I have normally behind Bibia Yetimi Kotranse Bon Komose. What can we also do? We always want to contribute our power.
Hold on 1 second, Mami. Yeah. Who generation we say more? Ebano, the crop of people who are entering into politics. Who GD?
You don't give up, actually.
As for giving up, we won't give up.
I haven't given up, but if I may share
The people are sending.
People entering, the motive behind, and all of those things. We have a long way to go.
Andy,
No,
I'm not talking about, you see,
Because
for every generation.
Because you see, Sammy, there's one thing, and we are using the two political parties because, fortunately or unfortunately, they have become.
Yeah.
You look into the NDC, and then you ask yourself, for instance, in terms of reward for appointment, in terms of reward for election into party executive positions, who are the people mostly awarded or rewarded? A lot of the time, who can pick on their political opponent, and then they say only team MPP for. That's the kind of mindset we have at some within the political establishment. Face MPP for. So we are not looking at facing the economic situation or the social situation that we face as a nation. We are not looking at those. We are not looking at it from that perspective. Face NDC for. I say, so when it is about party elections, I say, oh, according to the general secretary or to a bad manner, how is he going to face the General Mosquito? And I said, so our benchmark is becoming General Mosquito. Who will face him, and not who will help bring sanity, who will help bring order and discipline to the party establishment, so that the party will produce members who then become responsible leaders of this nation. We are thinking about who can face General Mosquito. We are thinking about who can face John Buadu. So these are the kind of mindset we have in the political party. And if you don't change, and we continue to go with that trend, there's hope, though. There's hope, because I'm hoping that
hope. I think that one person somehow persistently we can also make the change happen. You know, human being, I mean, we have all learned this in the textbooks, that people are resistant to change. And as I mean, I've always said, in as much as if you be a mensa, you have some few who will not align with your vision. But that will not deter me from doing what I'm noted, and I can do best to also help restore this country on the path of development. We can be political opponents. We can have different opinions on issues, but the situation is where people decide to pick on people and insult them is what we will not entertain. But the political parties, that is what they reward. I mean, so we must begin to have that debate and tell them that, listen, if you want us to vote for you, it's about your sound policies and programs that will help the livelihoods of the people. And as citizens, we also have a responsibility towards the state. Sammy, you can imagine, Saturday there were some few downpours. Now, Kwabrani, Tambola, no, the Ababe got in a for. Bola no, ye the good got an muneko, choku or baby. I never go them way. I mean, that is the mindset of Ghanaians. That is why, for me, I think myself, we are the change agents. We can be agents of change. And what do people do here every morning? You call people, resource people, persons to talk, seek their views, and your listeners.
But and this other kaya, I think say ya body be Henry Cote. Or started start changing our conversation.
Yes.
Now see out in interview.
Oh yes, people are sabotaging him from within government and party.
And it's what you who know or winning in.
No, but you see, let me tell you, you shouldn't be deterred, because you see, the larger population out there is in support of what he's doing. I have always supported him. Now listen, we need this change process. If it is clear, sir, you are not supposed to build here. Wakwa sit down, and it's causing problem to other people. And you think that government, our people, duty bearers to just sit unconcerned and allow you to happen? So my point is that, Sammy, we must begin to speak on these issues, speak truth to power, and that is what people have been doing. I think that, even with your media, we say, you educate, entertain, and inform Ghanaians on issues happening, and you forcefully make your points and your views known on national issues. Sammy, this brings me to the road tool, the introduction of the road tool.
Okay.
We sat here and said that that decision was not well thought through. We sat here, myself, Wankasa, we had, discussions on that. And so, and then, if today they want to reintroduce the road tool, yes, for me, I won't go back that, oh, it is good or it is not good. They should explain to us why in the first place it was suspended. Why was it suspended? I got it one who say issue I we say mura eba beto na kakra wo wan krem no na wa ko huhuma hwegu. Issue na antoy. So what was the motive for the suspension of the road tolls? What was the motive? I mean, we need these answers. Because since the letter came out from the Ministry of Finance, it was amply captured in the 2023 budget presented by the Finance Minister. That there will be some roads will be tolled. Fine. So tell us why you suspended that thing in the first place.
I'm on my reasons.
Reasons.
I'm on my reasons. I'm going to catch you say one. Congestion at traffic. Tools no. Two. Any climate change.
Listen, they should go say. They should go say. See, don't let us worry ourselves about this, and even your cherished viewers and listeners. Listen, they should go say this to the Marines. Hey, Sammy, it was a bad decision. They should accept it and apologize. Because listen, Sammy, we'll be talking about inefficiencies in the.
What is the bad decision?
To have suspended the thing.
Now, they have
no reason.
There was a third reason.
The third reason is what?
The third reason was the e-levy coming into force and the amount of money we were generating from.
So if you want to implement a policy, maybe you want to implement a policy. Policies are made for people, and you don't involve the people in the process. We know in every policy cycle, consultation is very important. Over the weekend, Otunfo, His Royal Majesty was clear on that. Now listen, we have an economic crisis at hand. Listen, get everybody on board. The best brains from academia or people you even call your opponents, get them together so that we can dialogue and chart a common path, come out with a solution. And also, he said that what? Government should be candid and transparent to the people of this country. When you claim omniscient, I know it all. This economic crisis, yes, put people together. But I think, sir, who take a decision be in the past, when you are confronted with same, you will not have the moral right to do that. I remember the Senchi dialogue where even Nana Asafo Mafo wanted to go. I mean, he was prevented by his party. So today, it will be very difficult to build that consensus and get people involved. So, as political parties, we should be careful what we say in opposition because of the quest for power at all costs. Me were opposition there. Me pray and say the government should fail. To say I'm of as a John or blessed more I can say now I buy or tiswe party or mutiswe one can woman where power. No, should it be that? I think there should be some level, and you kind of benchmark for rewards. Any day, and when I take you on NPP, Sammy, I think the road tool, yes, it's not about the introduction. It's about what? The inefficiencies in the system, the leakages and the seepages. How are we going to block it? Automation, we have said it. So when I go and me turn on the tra, some call. So I don't need any. But then again, Obeka say, oh, you need some people to. And who are those managing our tolls? Who are those managing our tolls? Recent times, the Adenta one, because I've done some research about it, was given to a rural bank. A rural bank in the eastern region or so. Kapemo, a rural bank. And Busam say, how much and our multimedia government? I heard the committee chair on roads and transport the last time. I'll be kasa, yeah. So even they are talking about the inefficiency, the leakages in the system. They should block it and blah blah blah. So it's not about the reintroduction. This is the committee chair. So there is hope. Like Otumfuo Khan said, we will not give up. We will not give up. Though some will feel say Samuel Albert Nanga can be say, oh, yen say when you are calling for transparency, you are calling for the truth. Ubi next door or your next friend, the friend next to you say, I will now buy Ghana ye. So we are starting in our own small way. How do we expect this Ghana country to be a prosperous nation where we all realize our destiny?
Well, my man, I want to a bit about the road too.
Answer about road to this. So I'm interested, bro. And now, Bobon told you. So Bobon told you.
I mean, my minion. First and foremost, from day one, I said it was a reckless decision or move. It doesn't matter who. But it didn't make any economic sense for that decision. How do you pay the loan? Was government at that time telling us, look, from Accra to Kumasi or to wherever, you can go free without making any contribution to the development of the nation?
And I asked my okay, I say, now the equanus cannot be a it was our taxes.
Who told you?
It's my taxes.
Who told you?
It is my money. Whatever road they built in this country, it is not Tobus that built it. It's my tax.
Yes.
When they go and borrow the money, I am to pay it.
Yes.
So yeah, okay.
So the point is that
without we paying anything, we built that road.
Are public good that cannot be left in the private hands.
You are not listening. So please pay attention and listen. And prepare to pay. Because if this were to be any other country, and cars are parking on streets in the city, at the end of the month, somebody take it. Every bread, your friends say, global media. Yeah. You go to any serious country, the same we bet me to Nika, no, the Kwaku say a cram on what now 3 hours, 4 hours. The state doesn't get anything. The metropolis, or which is Accra metropolis, doesn't get anything. I mean, how do you develop a nation like that? Said you, Bosiana or Nama or Sheno, those people, how were they able to raise the money? Through their taxes. And I said, you're more buying, managing here, so there are excesses, and so they are giving you the surplus. And you go and beg. Now you are begging for $3 billion, a whole nation, so that your confidence will be restored for people to come in and do business with you. That's an opportunity to make money. And then your friends, a finance minister made a statement, and I'm not because of the economic. Are we not in the worst economic situation than it was before the decision was made? So after the road to it was a reckless decision, and I agree with Bagben when he said that the Minister for Road and Highways was reckless or was being a friend and was acting unlawfully when he ordered the suspension. Because should have waited for Parliament to even approve the budget. You didn't. You were in a hurry. What they were telling us, or what they told us, was that we make between 72 and 78 million Ghana cedis every year from the toll booth. Small as it is, it can solve a problem. So whoever, and in this case, unfortunately, the Minister for Roads and Highways was one who issued the letter, so he must pay for it. There must be a consequences for all those who made that decision, because really, and there be a make us a look. Omana yebuno, and you'll be, and it might not be at the pleasure of somebody that this is how things. No, it must be something that will benefit us. A small point about the tourist site we're discussing. I ask, for instance, can't we, for instance, say that our beaches are national security zone, and that unless the government of Ghana has given approval for a serious investor to run the beach, I mean, we all go, I'm not talking about Labadi Beach Hotel, no. I'm talking about Labadi Beach. You ask yourself, say, is it the Ministry of Tourism? Is it Ghana Tourism Authority? that is in charge, and if they are the ones in charge, are they happy with the environment?
I said an EPA for it.
Yeah, the EPA.
So
but
EPA should come and tell you, say, Prahasi.
The ministry
No,
is.
they may patch and say because who can say you national security and yes, it's Mr. Hanopa. Meeting me beach and
Oh no, okay, maybe let me explain it. The point I want to make is that it sounds as if a year it generates enough money for us. So the state should take over those areas, all the beaches, so that the state go into partnership with either a private person, a private company, or a private developer, bring it to the the beaches that we see. I mean, if you travel to Paris, the Ivory Tower, either depend upon where you are coming from, but in front of the Ivory Tower, you know that stream over there.
I mean, call that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
And
so be the whole.
Some person Google the
Sir, and so no. It is Odo River, and you won't so be to say Odo and nam okronim finfin. And the money as a generating money for us as a nation, we are paying to clean it. And every year, yeah, drug masters are some cleaning, and that we even give it out to contract over $300 million.
So you see, these are issues that we move it to the rest now.
And welcome back to the show. But as I say, your tongue competition. So you were some 17 minutes to play with, and 17. Yeah, I remember move 5, and remember move 5. The can manage my far. I'm a fan. Say, me no was a meton. Hey, me the dance.
And I say, now they are
me the bear madi. Anas Harry me Anas, and some from by I'm a fan. Say.
Whew, okay, so who watches the Watchman? And we all witness that. And of course, those of us are Yinimanas. Yinimejuma wire over the past 20 or so years. Yes, he's been at the center of controversy. And depending upon which party is in power, the party side with him, depending upon if MPP is in opposition, they side with Anas. And I remember President Abufuado in one of the debates says he will use Anas principle to deal with issues of corruption. I remember very well. I organized debate. And so it depended, maybe a party in Ghana at any time, any point in time, and then Anas be. Of course, Anas is and some you commend him for bringing those things out. Some, as a professional or as a colleague, you tend to look back and say, maybe it could have been done this way or that way. Because, I mean, as professionals, we all have the ethics. We all understand the code of conduct that we are supposed to run with. We all know the rules of engagement and stuff. So, what I'm for, and I say, colleague be a year there, you look back, you look at the rules and say, maybe he didn't play with the rules. Maybe he acted wrongly. Or maybe he was too zealous and so didn't do well. But one thing I like about democracy is the fact that you have a right to challenge. So Anas did what he did. Kennedy Japan, the MP, also felt that no, there's something more. And so he also decided to do something else. Anas was unhappy with the discretion at Kennedy Japan, the man. So he decided to go to a court of law, which is where dispute and all things are settled. Back and forth, the judge ruled. He was not charitable, very harsh. And some have even said that maybe it was a revenge for the goat and yam and cassava episode. And so he said, like, I'll deal with you. But the judgment, the sentences or the wording or the diction. So I know you're there. said that he was not doing investigative journalism and that he was pursuing his personal interest and that he was more or less dealing with, his is the highest bidder. If you're able to pay your way, you are exempted from his videos.
Yeah.
And cited examples and stuff. Well, what does it mean for us as a media practitioners? It's only telling us that we should observe the rules and be fair to all parties involved, which is what we are told in training school or at various training schools that, look, you must be fair to all parties involved. Of course, sometimes you need to use unorthodox means to obtain information. But, after obtaining that information, or once that information is at your disposal, you still need to be fair to the parties involved so that the person will not feel that, look, I was not given opportunity as far as what is happening or what has happened is concerned. Because naturally, when you want to go fair with people to obtain certain information, it will not be given to you. And it's not just in Ghana. It's a global situation thing. That why should I resource you to deal with me? No. And I still have opportunity. You still have to go to court, go to appeal against the decision. So that maybe some of the harsh words used, some of the words that appears to have some negative effect on his person, or the judgment appears to suggest that Anas is corrupt. From the judgment, from the reading of the judgment, it appears to suggest to me that he's corrupt and that he's pursuing his personal interest. And so long as you will be exempted, itself suggests that he's not doing a fair project. And so he must go to court. I support him if he's going to court to appeal against the ruling. Because it doesn't order well for his person and reputation. He's built a huge reputation and he needs to protect that reputation. And so the only way out of it is to go back to court, appeal against the decision, and then a review is made. If he's lucky, or if they are, I'm not sure. Will it be? I'm not sure. New evidence will be provided if it's appealed, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot rely on the old evidence to pursue an appeal. And I've heard he's going to go to court, and I honestly agree with him that he must go to court and then have the decision reviewed. For those insulting the judge, if the judgment had been in the favor of Anas, I'm not sure those insulting him were going to insult him. At any point in time, when it has to do with judgment, you're more draw. I'd say, of course, football, you're more draw.
Yeah.
But judges, there must be a verdict. And the verdict can go against you or can go for you. At this moment, this verdict went against Anas. And it really has affected, or it has obviously been a major damage to his reputation. And that damage can only be repaired by that same court. So I'll urge him to go, seek a review, and then provide evidence that will let the team or the panel of judges who will sit on that case overturn the earlier ruling. But as it stays now, Yako Court in Biayaba, we all should respect it. Akufo-Addo went to court 2013. He lost, accepted it, and went on. President Mahama went to court 2020. He lost. He hasn't accepted it. He hasn't accepted defeat. He hasn't acknowledged the judgment. But we are still moving on as a nation. At any point, the point is that you will lose or you will win. You're more draw. It's a battle. You're more draw. Somebody must win. And so at this time, Anas has lost. He must accept the challenge. The good thing is that there's still an opportunity for him, and he can go up to the Supreme Court. So he must use those channels. But the insult from people who felt that, look, Anas shouldn't have, the judge, why are we making the impression that he's untouchable? No. Every one of us, we are professionals. We err in the things that we do. Privately, we apologize to people for some of the wrongs that we have done, sitting back and reflecting. So, he has lost the case. He should go back and appeal. So those insulting the judge, especially the civil society groups who feel that, look, the judge erred, what's the insult for? Would that insult overturn the judgment? No. We should go back and appeal.
All right. Andy,
Sammy,
but 3 minutes.
thank you very much
3
for the
minutes.
opportunity. Sammy, I want to say, I have my position and stance when it comes to colleagues and their work. Because in this country, people understanding of issues, are different. Where they view constructive criticisms as anwaya or whatever. Sammy, I think between myself and you, because of the brotherhood and the kind of relationship that we have, like you rightly mentioned there, indicated, we sit down upon sober reflections, we call people and apologize. We are all liable to error. I remember President Mills once, of blessed memory, a catcher. I would say, Master, when you are a leader at a point in time, you must be prepared to eat the humble pie, say sorry and move on. I think, like Yaukan, it shouldn't be lost on us. Whatever investigations are, and us, there were some people at the receiving end. Those people have families, they have dependents. They have suffered some monumental damage and continue to suffer. I don't think, when you call Yura Kwesina Antechi, the former GFA president, you call the likes of lawyer Obimpe, you call Ajet Nassam, and those people, they will tell you that, they were happy with the investigation piece of Anas, right? Yes. Why? He did an investigation as to whether they merit the kind of sanction. No? I think at that time, the Chief Justice, Madam Georgina Tuzura Wood, almost investigate here, and so the final decision was that those people should be relieved. I'm reliably informed that some of the judges appealed and their licenses were restored and they are still practicing. Just some few, so yes, and just a word of advice to the politicians. The proverbial we say Satan say when he sues them they quote the Bible. When people are supporting or insulting the judge, no, he still has opportunity, right, to appeal the judgment or the ruling. And if he has said in a statement, I read a statement from the Tiger IPI that is a travesty of justice, and as to whether what constitutes that travesty of justice, after all the details that the judge in his ruling, taking the plaintiff case and that of the defendant and making some classical references to the law report and cases, citing cases. So you have to go and prove it. So the opportunity is there. I would humbly suggest to my brother, he should just pay attention to and trying to be carried away by whatever people are saying. Go and pursue the case. You understand? Because the judge was, in his judgment, said that no, your work was for reward and awards, power and fame. And the word that people are not happy was what? Investigative terrorism. Sammy, I think the literature is there to guide us how some international journalists of repute were stripped of their awards years when it came to fore that the work they submitted was not a good work, even to the extent that, but for some intervention, they wanted to jail them. I think that
it was pure deception.
Yes, I think that our brother has done and pay his dues in terms of these investigations. You may not get it right at all times.
Yeah.
This, you see, the judge ruled based on the facts of the issues I'm presenting here, the plaintiff, defendant, in my case, the submission, the written submissions, then as if for the cross-examination here and there. So, yes, we should all hasten slowly. We should just be guided by our statement, especially those politically exposed persons who think that they can use corruption necessarily to come to power. We should all be careful. And those attacks on the judges, I don't think it's the best. I mean, our brother still has the opportunity to appeal the judgment, so which he has said that he was going to do, he and his outfit. So let's see how it pans out. But sometimes when you hear people who are suspected to know better saying that, I mean, the judgment by the Justice Eric Ba, will have an impact on investigative journalism. I heard people saying that, oh, I mean, the judge went too far and blah, blah. But in his ruling, if you read that 65-page judgment, it is clear. I mean, our brother has an opportunity to redeem himself, and is capable of doing that through his lawyers, because the laws, the processes, I mean, to seek redress and go for these things, yes. So he shouldn't be deterred. He shouldn't be deterred. And so we are all we are human beings. We make mistakes, but he should just appeal the judgment and see what comes out of it.
All right, and the medal was on the place. Overcoming something you didn't come